Hey everybody, we're kind of changing gears here a little bit today. I'm going to show you my least favorite project I've been working on here for a while. Um, this is the front inside of the front room in my house. This has been an ongoing project for unfortunately getting close to 2 years now. I keep getting sidetracked and pulled off of it, but anyway, what started all this was um, I found some bad floor joists in here, and my how I found it, my that is my main cold air return for the furnace, and how it was set up before. Um, the All they had done to make a return was they just put a piece of sheet metal in underneath of the floor joist and just boxed it in to make a return, which I know people have done that. But because of the way the ductwork is set up, there's no good place down in the cellar next to the furnace to put a filter. So they just put their filter there in the bottom of that pan where the duct came out. And I was replacing the filter and realized that the floor joists were getting really spongy right there. So I there also was not a good way to get under here the way the floor was, or the way it was built before. So I had to cut away under the house and realized I did not have a couple of bad floor joists. I might have had a couple of good floor joists left up here. So we started in March of 2021. We gutted the room, tore the floor out. Ended up having to do some foundation work while we were up here. The original foundation under this house was flagstone, but under this part of the house, it was not a solid wall of flagstone all the way around. It was several strangely spaced out piers made of flagstone. So there were gaps, in fairly large gaps in between them that someone had just stuck foam board into. So there were 2 gaps along that wall. There were 4 gaps along that wall. And oddly enough, the north wall was complete. There were no gaps in it, so I didn't have to do anything there. But had a friend come out and look at that. That's a civil engineer, and he said my preference would be to tell you to dig it, to tear it all out and start over. But I mean, this house was built in 1868, so it's been here for a while. He said it's probably not going to settle any farther there than what it already has. So we dug out in between in each of those gaps, formed up and poured concrete in there. Laid new floor joists in, new subfloor. We actually made the walls thicker. I ripped 2x4s down because these were real 2x4 walls. I ripped 2x4s down in half and screwed them onto the face of the studs to make them 5.5 inches thick, so that I could put R19 insulation in the walls, because there was no insulation in the walls before. Replaced the windows. The older windows were bigger than these. These are still decent size. I think they're 36 by 54s. But the original windows, the windows that were in it were replacement windows that fit into the original frames, and the frames were rotten and the windows were leaking. So this has just been a lot of work, and I'm down to the point now where I'm finishing drywall, which is probably my least favorite construction project to do. Anyway, but my wife's getting tired of this not being done, so I guess I'm back to working on it. So anyway, if you've listened to me ramble all this time, thanks for watching. Today is December 29th, so I'd like to wish everybody a Happy New Year. So have a good one.